We got kind of off the subject on the last one. When it came to certain things of him declaring, well, he says he's not declaring war, but it's a war. I I still don't understand double talk, but okay, whatever. It's a war, but it's not a war.
Yeah.
It's Colgate, but it's not toothpaste. I mean, also we're gonna bring up today Lil Nate. I want to call him Lil Nate. Lil Nate for Trump, but yeah, Braun, he's on it again.
This
He's trying to
guy.
make being homeless illegal in Indiana.
Yes. Yes, he is.
So I got the question I'm going to put forth of what's going to happen when his wife get mad and kick him out the house because he look like a weirdo. We're going to leave that one alone. Next.
Mm.
I don't even know there's going to be a next after that one because that one disgusts me so bad.
Yeah.
But we're going to try to go to a next one and all of that right here on the right direction. I am your host, the Master Bob Rogers. This is my sister from another Mr. Ash. Yes, we have our views. As listen, we understand that there's different views. This format is not. It seems like it's a little left leaning right now because our conservative guy is not here. Tim, where are you?
Yeah.
But we try to have conversations to get everybody's opinions out there because one of the things that we notice is a lot of people don't know what the other side thinks, and then when they do hear it, they think it's false because it doesn't. They think it doesn't happen. It's not true. And just like we found out the first couple of episodes, there's things that she's been through that I've never even known, and I thought that was just movie scenes. And
Right.
to find out the joke was on me. You know, I'm sure
Well,
there's
the
gonna.
same thing goes for ghost story. I'm sure people are like, "Oh no, that never happened. That only happens in movies." It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. So we're here to learn each other's experiences and seriously give it to thought when we start going forward in our lives because this is what helps us make this to the voting palace. And once we understand it's not just us and people that think like us, we can think more clearly and think more fairly. But on to the reverb from last week. War or not to war? That is the question. Iran's cool. I'm sorry. People might get mad when I say this. I don't really care. But Iran look like they some ass.
yeah, and I don't blame them. Like everything that they're doing is justified as far as I'm concerned, and they are. Yeah, don't mess with them motherfuckers because they are not playing around.
Iran didn't run. They running somebody all right. It's Donald Trump.
They're trying to, yeah. And that guy lies so fucking much. Like, what do we actually know? Because they're first they're telling us the death toll is five people, 5 Americans, and now it's up to 160 something. And it's like you got all these service members that are talking about, yeah, they took out our whole, our whole platoon and everything at our base. And I've seen videos, and they're like, yeah, they had to come out and tell the truth because too many people were actually saying it. Like, too many service members are saying, no, this isn't true. Like, so many more people were injured and hurt in these things. And it's like, yeah, you cannot give the American people the same propaganda that you did 26 years ago during 9/11 and expect it the same. You cannot do. We have too much at our fingertips to know what's going on and have our finger on the pulse of the world, that you cannot give us the same propaganda. You cannot give us the same, oh, weapons of mass destruction. No, you literally went there to shut down their freaking oil production, and now I'm going to end up having to pay $8 fucking gallon for gas because of it.
And that's the other point. And it bothers me because, oh, we went there for regime change.
What?
The only thing
Okay.
you wanted to change was the dial on the gas meter.
Yep. Hmm.
How do you expect a person like myself to say that they want to vote for your party or vote for your secular party
Right.
when you are blatantly,
Yep.
openly telling lies? I'm from the south side of Chicago. Get ghetto with me. Just get real with me. Look, I
Right.
went over there because I wanted the oil. Let's just keep
Yep.
100. I
Yep.
want the oil. We snatched it. How about that?
Yeah.
Keep it 100 with me. Stop this. Oh, we're going for regime change. You want to liberate the people. No, you want to liberate your pocketbooks.
Yep.
This
Yeah.
is all about money.
Yep. In
Nobody
control.
cares about the people over there.
Yeah.
And this is the other thing. This is a section that I wish a lot of people would take notice to and really think about. As you know, I'm not a racial person, but there are things that I found out in some research that I did this week that shocked me. I guess there are a lot more eyes throughout the world that pays attention to what goes on here in America more than what we experience.
Hmm.
Iran has openly said that they don't have a problem with black people,
Hmm.
that they see that the government is the problem,
Hmm.
which we know who runs the government. They said they don't have a problem with black people.
Yeah.
Back when they kidnapped I guess they kidnapped a whole bunch of people. I don't know what it happened. They kidnapped a whole bunch of people. The first people that they let go was the black males, females, kids, and then women and children.
Yeah.
Because they said that's not our fight.
Yeah.
We're just we're oppressed. So let it go.
Because the Iranians know that even in our system, that women, children, and people of color have no power or say so. So there's no reason to even worry about them.
And it trips me out because if you think about all of this stuff that happened, and you go to when Barack Obama was elected,
Mhm.
how many people flipped out because he got elected? Because that broke the streak.
Yep.
If you remember, Iran was happy.
Yep.
They didn't care. They was like, oh, just, hey, good. We got somebody that ain't about no crap.
Yep.
But the thing that I look at is how we got to now. And this is the first time I can positively be happy to blame Barack Obama.
It's the first time he's actually been accused of something that was real.
Yeah. But think about this though. Seriously. If you go to the early 90s, 2000s,
Mhm.
everybody floating away, people were getting along. They were
Mhm.
smoking a lot of weed. Everybody was dancing. They were getting together. Interracial dating was going on. You had a lot more comfort until Barack did get there.
Yeah.
But this is what makes me mad and makes me say I cannot be a conservative. How do you flip the attitude of guys who happen to be white, get an attitude because this man is in office? Why? Because the color of his skin.
Mhm.
And what else? It's the color of his skin. Okay, so what else?
Yeah.
Well, it's the color of his skin. What the?
They had no other reason. It really brought to light a lot of people that were undercover racists. You know what I
Oh,
mean? You know what I mean? Like people
yes.
that were overt, like you would never expect that from them. Like you would, oh, Mr. Bob at work has always been nice to me. And then the second Barack Obama was elected, oh, I don't think he should be in office. Well, why not, Bob? And then when you ask questions of these old white guys back back then, it's like, well, why? What did he do that you don't like? And they never could come up with anything. It was always because he was black. Always.
You could never come up with someone. Barack was a pimp.
Yeah.
Barack was a straight pimp.
Yeah.
That dude was smoother than Bailey's and coffee. That dude was a bad man. And I'm looking at I just look at all this and I'm like, he brought this racist attitude to the forefront,
Hmm.
and the conservatives try to make it out to things that he did.
Right.
He made things fair.
Right. Yeah.
So by making things fair, that pissed you off.
Yep.
Which by him making it fair and it pissed you off says, what about you?
Yeah. I've been asking this for years. And like I said, every time you ask it, that's when I get the comments. That's when I get the, oh, you're the blue haired, second ring theory, oh, you're just a libtard. Yeah, okay. That's when I started hearing the word woke a lot. Like, oh, you're just woke. And then that's when I took that as, oh, you're just calling me an N-word lover. That's all that is. When they call me woke, oh, you're just a woke liberal. That's the 21st century version of calling me an N-word lover. You know
Mm.
what I mean? I figured that one out quick, man. I was
Actually,
like, see,
if you want to
okay,
get technical, that term woke is from way back. Let me see if I can find it again. That term woke was established a long time ago
hmm
in describing the Black Awakening.
hmm
So now they took that same term and flipped it around
hmm
and tried to make it into something negative. The problem that I have is when something actually happens to a person,
hmm
and then it's, oh, you're woke when a white person says black is fair, or you question the black person like, so what happened before the film came on,
yeah. I need
or
context. What's the context? What happened before this?
right,
I don't need. I don't need it.
you had to have done something.
Yeah, I don't need that. Oh, we should have just complied. That bullshit. No, I don't.
Why is it so hard for these people to realize? Maybe because he was a dumb motherfucker.
Like again, I don't need context when it comes to like cop videos. Anything dealing with black community members getting their ass shot off by a cop, I automatically just know that that cop is doing what he was trained to do. That cops are trained to do that. Cops are trained to look for the suspect, the prime suspect. You fit the description. You know, that's just how they're trained.
But this is what bothers me. I mean, the Black Panther was developed
Hmm.
to defend against police because the police was bigoted back in the day. And we did a full 360 back to that time.
Yeah,
It's sad.
it's sick. Yeah, that's why and learning about all that stuff, like the Black Panthers and what they actually did achieve, and that they're the reason that we even have school lunches and school breakfast programs. They're the reason we even have like after school programs, like rec centers and stuff. It's because of the Black Panthers. They're the reason that we have that for everyone, not just for black kids, but for everyone. Is because of the community efforts that they had. And again, uh, white people cannot stand to see black people stand on their own, and they cannot stand to see black people have money, and they just cannot stand that. So they have to do anything and everything they can to dismantle it.
And
and that's
guess
what they.
what?
Yeah,
Why do you think there's such a quick dismantling of it right now?
exactly, because they see how much that, because all these videos in like Minnesota and shit, it's not just black people and brown people getting their asses shut up. It's white people out there. There's white people out, and then more and more of these white people seeing more of their peers and their fellow white people out there. They're like, oh shit, we got to do something. We're losing hold. You know what I mean? So they're scared. They're all scared.
But hold on. Think about this though. If you think about the history of this country, it's always taken a wide population, no matter how small it is, to be a victim of something like that before something is done. Let me
Absolutely.
give you the
Yep.
perfect example. When it came to LBGTQ rights, nobody gave a damn when it was just black people that they was exposing being gay or whatever, and lesbians and what have you. But once there was rich white guys that was lesbian and stuff, oh, we gotta act right.
Yep.
We gotta be right. We gotta do this. We gotta do that.
Because that's when white people started feeling marginalization. So where they used that as a way to, oh, I'm oppressed too. I understand because I'm oppressed. No, the fuck you're not. I'm sorry, you're not. Yeah, you might be discriminated against because of your sexuality, but you have no fucking clue. You know what I mean? Everybody,
Hold on, you gotta give them something now. They are
I'm,
oppressed too.
I'm saying,
They are oppressed too.
I'm part of the LGBTQ market, and I've not ever felt any kind of oppression that's even a smidgen like what the black, brown, and indigenous
Oh
communities
no, it would never be to the multitude of that.
never. But there
No,
are
but
some
they still feel it.
that, yes, they do. But you're right, it did take for, white people being killed and strung up because they're gay or lesbian for any kind of action to be taken. And
I'm
it's
gonna give
only ever happened that way.
I'm gonna give you another example. Weed.
Yes, yes, yes. Because white and black people use marijuana on the same level. It is across the board, universally used on the same level, and still, black people are incarcerated for it. Way more than white people are
Hmm.
because black neighborhoods are always policed more than white neighborhoods are. And they're always going to go after the blacks first because they police them more. They don't have cops in the white neighborhoods pulling you over because, hey, you're white in this neighborhood. What do you do? You know what I mean? They don't do that in the
Okay,
white neighborhood. They do that in
I'm
the
glad
black
we got
neighborhood.
on. I'm glad we started talking about this. We're gonna take a little side mission on this when they talk about this subject because this is something near and dear to me, and I think it should educate a lot of the people out there.
Mhm.
Do you know the history of why marijuana is, and I'm gonna put this in quotations, so-called is illegal? Okay,
Yes,
I want to
I
hear what you know because I'm gonna tell you straight for the facts that comes from the U.S. Senate on why it is. But go ahead.
on why it's a controlled substance now. It wasn't always. In 1937, the Marijuana Act was enacted. The reason we call it the Marijuana Act is because it's a racist term because we were trying to get rid of Mexicans from the country. So because we were trying to racially profile Mexicans, they started calling it marijuana instead of cannabis, which it had always been called cannabis, and they changed the word of it so that it was a racial term. Then they started policing it because the paper industry was going from hemp, they wanted to go to timber. So the people in the timber industry, they lobbied for the timber industry to get the money from the government. So they made hemp illegal because they can make it illegal if they can say it's a bunch of Mexicans and black people out here smoking it and getting all hied up and wanting to rape our women and blah blah blah. They can fearmonger to fucking ignorant white people all day long on that shit. So that's what they did. They fearmongered the white people to make it illegal so that they could take over the paper industry in the country.
Let me say you're partially right.
It's pretty much it.
No, it's a little bit more to it.
Oh yeah, there's always going to be more to it, but that's pretty much it. A
it
bunch of rich white dudes want to take over the music industry.
hold on, Ash. Check this out. It actually started way before what you're talking about. It started before the Marijuana Act. Back in the 1920s, the United States actually drafted its first drug czar.
Hmm.
His name was Henry J. Anslinger. He was the biggest racist bigot there was. He was worse than Bull Connor.
Hmm.
This is also not only when they were trying to do the paper thing, but if you remember, DuPont was trying to put in plastics as well.
Hmm.
So, what is this hemp thing and why is everybody going nuts over it? Well, let's do a study to figure out what's going on. Well, when Anslinger started seeing the study, he started seeing that a lot of Mexicans or Latinos, a lot of black people were using it. He went on the Senate floor, and you can quote me on this. You can look this up. He said to the U.S. Senate at that time, marijuana mixed with satanic jazz music, which remember they were trying to ban jazz at the time too.
Yep.
Now you're gonna laugh at this next part. Hypnotizes Caucasian women into having relations with them.
Hmm. Yes.
They didn't schedule it as a Schedule 1. They didn't put it as a Schedule 2. They put it all the way to a Schedule 3 because they were afraid that that plant would have white women have relations with black and Mexican men. That was the main purpose.
That's also the premise of the movie Reefer Madness as a propaganda movie to basically show people that, oh yeah, white women are going to smoke this and then they're going to go crazy and insane. And
Scare everybody from it. Yep. Now, and this is gonna be the first time I brought this out in the air, and people could look at me like I'm crazy. But if you think about what I'm saying, you will have a whole new view on this law. How much do you want to bet that I can prove to you that the marijuana law is illegal?
that it's, well, I'm sorry, you cut out.
The marijuana law is illegal.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. And saying that, what is the specific act that made the marijuana law unconstitutional?
Search and seizure.
No,
I was
not at
that
all.
I was going to say for most people, yeah. Search and seizure is the main fucking reason that law sucks.
That's what they use to bust people.
Yeah,
But it's not the
probably.
law that actually makes the law itself illegal. The law itself, and I did this in college and won. Two Republican senators actually did our debate, and I won this. The reason why it's illegal is because of one act, the Civil Rights Act. If you remember, there were Jim Crow laws. There were all type of laws that was in the South and everything that the states made.
Yeah.
That was based off of color. It was based off of culture. That
Mhm.
deemed simple things illegal. When the Civil Rights Act was enacted, it said that any law deemed by a person's race, color, creed, blah 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 blah, shall be abolished and set forth, and cannot be made in the future. I'm just paraphrasing this part.
Right, right.
Okay, cannot be made in the future. Okay. Once Anslinger stepped on the Senate floor and said marijuana meant for the Negroes and Latinos scares Caucasian women to have relations with them, that made it into a racial issue right there.
Right.
With the Civil Rights Act, that knocks that out of the park right there.
You think?
No, it technically is.
Like,
Nobody's argued it though.
because you can't argue
You can.
it. Well, you can say that that's the reason, but the government will always come back and say that it's a safety issue, and that that's what it always was a safety issue, and that's why nobody's ever used that as a defense because it doesn't go against your First Amendment right. It doesn't go against your Second Amendment right. It doesn't go against your Third Amendment or Fourth Amendment or Fifth Amendment. So because it doesn't
14th,
violate you what?
16th,
It
the
doesn't violate.
14th,
It doesn't
the
violate it.
16th.
Doesn't violate it. Technically and legally, it does not violate it. Now, do I agree that the law should have been abolished the second that the Civil Rights Act was brought into law in the 60s? Absolutely. But I also think that all drugs should be legalized because I don't think any drug should be.
See that? Yeah, I draw the line on that one. I what I went through with my ex-wife and what I seen they do to her, I can't.
I have a lot of family and friends that have lost their battle with drug addiction. And I know a lot of people that continue their battle with drug addiction. And the only problem that they've ever had from those drugs was getting caught with them. I've only problem they've ever had with those drugs is getting caught with them.
Okay,
That's
you telling me a little bit about your homies? Because let me tell you this: the problem that I seen around my old, especially my old neighborhood, was people committing other crimes to attain that.
yes, but that again, okay, so here we go. Things like poverty cause addiction. Poverty causes addiction. When you are so poor that you would much rather escape your fucking life by taking a substance or drinking alcohol, that's a problem with poverty, not a problem with the drug or the alcohol. Those drugs are useful. Drugs like marijuana, drugs like cocaine are useful. Drugs like heroin are useful in certain aspects, just like alcohol is useful as an antiseptic. However, when used in accordance with a substance abuse and you abuse that substance, that's caused by a chemical imbalance in your brain. That's brain chemistry. So when you have poor people, like I grew up in fucking Hallville. I grew up in the '80s. There's a lot of fucking crackheads around that neighborhood. Yeah, those people were breaking in, stealing people's lawnmowers. They were also the eyes and the ears of that fucking neighborhood. If you ever needed any information, you didn't go to the cops and say anything. You went to the neighborhood. Hey, you see anybody over here? Oh yeah, yeah, we saw so and so. You find shit out from the neighborhood crackhead before you would any fucking cop. So again, drug addiction and being a drug addict stems from poverty. But there again, I've known rich motherfuckers that were drug addicts, that were heroin
Yeah,
addicts because they were bored. They don't have anything in their life to do because they don't have to have a job. They don't have to worry about where they're going to get their next paycheck to put a roof over their head or put food in their stomach. So they get bored and they have enough disposable income, they can go and do those substances. So they go and they try a substance, they like that substance, so they continue to do that substance to where it becomes an addiction. Addiction is on the person. That's on you as a person. You know
right.
your, but I don't think those drugs should be illegal. Being caught with those drugs shouldn't be the problem. You should be going to jail because you have a substance. You shouldn't go to jail for being an addict. You should go to a hospital. You should go to a doctor. You should talk to people and find out where it stems from. You know what I mean? I don't think that a prison is the best spot for somebody to come down off of dope. Like I said, the worst thing that any addict I know that's still alive that they've ever had happen to them was when they got caught with drugs and they went to jail and then they had a bunch of fines. They were on probation. They couldn't keep their head above water once they were out because you can't get a good job anymore. You have to, live paycheck to paycheck. Most of the time they're fighting for survival. So they just go back to using drugs because it's easier to escape that way. So, like I said, poverty causes drug addiction before anything else. So, yeah, I don't think any drug should be illegal.
Mm, that's an interesting take on that.
I, I'm, I, I'm, I like this term harm reduction. So when I go out to the bar, we have friends that hand out harm reduction kits for people that use. We'll pass out fentanyl strips where you can test your drugs to make sure they don't have fentanyl in them before you take it.
Mm,
We also pass out clean needles. We pass out Nexplon, which is like, like if you're ODing, you can give somebody, bring them back or whatever. We passed all that stuff out. Condoms, dental dams, things like that that help reduce the spread of disease because people are on drugs and they don't make the best decisions. They don't make the best choices. So we like to do harm reduction. And I feel like harm reduction is literally just like having a bar, because that's what bars are for. It's a third space for people to go and drink liquor in a space where the bartender is responsible for whether or not you can get alcohol. And then they have bouncers on site. A lot of them have food available for you to, sober up. Those are harm reduction sites. That's why I think that we should have the same thing for weed, same thing for drugs. And if you live in places like Portland, Oregon, and Washington, you can go into places that have, like needle exchange, where you can go in somewhere and shoot up your drug of choice and not have to worry about having a dirty needle. And if you do have, bad stuff and you OD, they have people on site to help you. And people are gonna people are gonna do drugs. They might not do them every day, but hell, you never, like you said, some people like to have fun on a weekend. Oh, I'm going to a concert. I'm gonna do some coke when I get. I'm gonna do some blow, or I'm gonna do some drugs. That's that's one time for them to go out and have fun. But if they get caught that one fucking time, it's gonna ruin their life forever. And
that's
for
true.
what? And for what? You know what I mean? What does that do for them? It does nothing for them, but make them more poor and make them not want to fucking do anything to help themselves or society. So like I said, it just causes more problems than it helps anything. And like here in Indiana, we just want to fill them prisons, baby, because they get paid to fill them prisons.
Yeah,
So yeah, let's get all this weed that we could find on these people, and let's put them in jail. Because hey, we got a baggie of evidence right here. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But don't go out there and catch these fucking pedophiles. Don't go out there and put them in jail. You know what I mean?
that's true.
Because oh well, we don't want to ruin that young man's life for a mistake that he made. How many times have you heard that? I've heard it so many times. Oh
I
well, we don't want to ruin this young man's life for a mistake that he made when he was young. He didn't realize what he was doing to that poor girl. Yeah, okay, but yet if he was a black man at the age of 17 and he got caught with a fucking joint, you're gonna ruin that son of a bitch's life.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why I don't think that drugs should be legal or illegal at all. I think all drugs should be legal. They should not be policed. And the only time that drugs are illegal is when drug addicts steal. That's what's illegal is them stealing. The drugs shouldn't be illegal. Then stealing is what's illegal. Then breaking into people's houses is illegal. That's what they should go to jail for. But while they're there, let's give them some help for this addiction, and then they'll never want to steal again. But that's not the case. I don't know any fucking pothead in the 40 years that I've been on this earth that has done anything so egregious that they deserve to be in jail for their whole life. You know what I mean? But I
Right.
know, but I know people that to this day still can't get a job because of a 40-year-old weed charge that they had. You know what I mean? They ain't never been in trouble their whole life, but they got a weed charge when they were 20 years old, and now they're 60, and they still have it on their record.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Still holding them back. And for what? What does that do? It helps no one.
I get what you're saying.
But I also think it has everything to do with racial issues in this country, and we use it as a way to put black and brown communities on a higher level than white.
I get what you're saying. Hmm. I never thought about that aspect.
And I had neither until the few years back when I started in with the homeless outreach and I started with the harm reduction stuff.
Mm.
And you meet so many people of different walks of life, and so many people that are homeless for reasons that are other than drug or alcohol addiction. Like, so many homeless people do not have drug and alcohol problems. They have money problems. You know what I mean? They have
Yeah.
mental problems, and they don't. It's not that they want to get high. It's not that they're out there because of that. But again, people are policed as homeless, and then they're categorized as drug addicts and alcoholics. It's like, no, they're not all alcoholics. They're not all fucking drug addicts. They're not all crazy. Some
Mm-mm.
people are down on their luck.
We're talking about our next topic. Mike Braun.
The fact that his name is Braun really irritates me because all I
That,
think is Braun.
that is the most ironic name there is for a person. It
At
does
least
not fit.
in this day and age, for his name to be Braun just feels so.
It's like, are you named after the paper towels? I mean, what?
The thing is that my family's name on my mom's side is Braun, and it's so embarrassing.
Oh my God!
It's so embarrassing. And it's like, oh God, no wonder half of my family changed their name to Brown.
Wow.
Did in our family there's the Browns or Browns, and after the 1940s where they Brown.
Well, it seems like Mr. Braun here
Uh,
is trying to make homelessness illegal in the state of Indiana. Now, I'm trying to figure out how is he going to even pull that off. And second of all, why in God's green earth is anybody allowing this?
because I don't want to see those people in my neighborhood. I hear that all the time. I don't want to see those people in my neighborhood. And so they want them police. They want them out of their neighborhood. Because, oh, I pay too much money. I don't want to see homeless people in my neighborhood. Well, fucking help them.
But the
Help
whole
them.
state?
It's and that's the thing is that they people are they're so blinded, and they think that, well, if we help the homeless people and make it illegal, then at least they'll be in jail or at least they'll get food. No, all you're doing is turning them into criminals to where they're not going to be able to get a job if they get out. They're not going to be able to get housing. They're not going to be able to do any of those things. So they're just going to put them right back in the same situation that they were in before.
Yeah.
It
I
makes no
never, when I read this, I thought it was a joke.
it's
I thought it
sick,
was satire being produced.
right? Because it seems like, wow, why is this a thing?
How are you going to sit there and say, well, you lost your home and you were evicted and now you're on the street? So guess what? You're a criminal now.
Yeah. You're going to have a record. They're going to put you in jail. Yeah, because they want slaves for the state, and they need bodies and numbers and fucking privatized because that's how they make money.
But depending on how he's gonna have this classified, don't you think it's a move to get the voters off the roll too? That's against him.
Absolutely, that's it.
Because as I look at it, the party that has the most problems and that has more than lower income people in that bracket, it's basically Democrats and liberals. They're not the richest people in the world.
You think that, but have you ever been to a trailer park in the middle of nowhere in Indiana and seen how many fucking Trump flags there are? The poorest white people you've ever met vote. The
See,
poorest
hold on, wait.
met
I
vote, and
gotta
they vote.
disagree with that because it was always a joke that was said to me when I moved to Indiana from my friends in Chicago. They teased the hell out of me and said I was George Jefferson. I was moving on up. And I said,
Indiana,
how?
yeah,
He said, because you're in the land of trailer parks. And I'm like, huh? He said, think about this. When you live in a project, number one, you don't own your project. You never
mm-mm.
do. You can own your trailer,
But you can't take it anywhere.
but you still own it.
But you can't take it anywhere. You still have to pay rent on that land. See, that's the other thing that people think this. You're not allowed to take that trailer off of that land.
No, I agree. I know that part.
So
But my
you can
thing is, you still have ownership of something. But it gives you a record to where if you do get lucky and you do get that thing to say, hey, I got an opportunity to move into this, you have a history of owning something, so they'll be more susceptible to go ahead and let you have that. When you
right,
stay in the projects and you don't
you have
own that,
right,
you don't have proof of nothing. You
right.
got
No,
people
you're
paying $16 a month.
exactly. No, you're absolutely right. No, I
So
understand what you're saying.
so guess what? They're like, we don't know you. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're.
So the
I
biggest joke that I had when I first moved to Indiana was, hey, you moving on up. You getting up there,
can move into the trailer court. See, now I'm not dogging out people. I've lived in a trailer. I'm saying that the poorest white people vote for Trump.
Yeah, they do.
So say that they're trying to get rid of the Democrat and liberal vote is not necessarily the case because again I've gone out here in the streets of Indianapolis and I've met several homeless people that if they could vote they would vote for Trump
Right.
and it's like people don't understand voting against their best interests. They
No,
don't
they don't.
understand. People don't get it. But more so, homeless people don't vote because a lot of them don't have ID. And if you don't have an address and you don't live in the neighborhood where your old address was, you can't get on a voter roll. You
No, you
can't.
can't.
The same with people that were in jail. If you have a felony, you cannot vote. So unless you have it expunged or whatever. But if you have a felony, you can't vote. And I would think that they want, that's why they're doing it. They want to make people felons where you cannot vote.
See, I thought
So,
that was switched.
you what?
I could have sworn that was switched.
No, if you're a felon, you can't vote.
I will talk off the air on that one.
I mean, not legally, you can't do it. Not unless you get it expunged. You got to go to court and get that felony taken off of your record. And yeah, if you've been to prison with a felony and you're convicted of that felony, you're not allowed to vote. Convicted felons in Indiana are not allowed to vote. Not legally. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing because legally, yeah, that's not allowed.
Mm,
You have to go through the channels to get taken off. Because I know someone personally that tried to have their felony taken off so that they could vote and so that they could own a gun again, and they couldn't get it taken off because of the degree of the felony. So they still can't own a weapon. They still cannot vote. So
yeah,
yeah, but I think
you might be right on the degree of it.
I was gonna say like I said, it's felonies. And it has, like I said, this guy couldn't even get it taken off his record after 30 years. So that's how bad. But I think that's the other reason that they're trying to do this too, because the more felons that they have, the less votes that they'll get because felons can't vote. So
Mm.
yeah, It's all and like I said, here in Indiana, it's a fucking money grab anyway for the
Mhm.
prison system. They
That's
want to
true.
put jail because they make more money off the bodies in jail. And then you have the added bonus of the slave labor that they have while in jail, where they pay these guys 1 penny every hour to make clothes and furniture and all this other shit. And they, they're basically slaves. And it's state sanctioned slavery. And slavery is not illegal. It's only sanctioned by the state.
That's true. That is 100% true.
Only illegal for people like me and you to own slaves. It's
Well,
not
if I
illegal for the
could, I'd like to own a couple of girls and
gross.
what?
That's gross.
How's that gross?
Why do you want to own anybody for one? But you should be able to get women with your charm. You
I
shouldn't have to buy.
do.
Again, you shouldn't have to buy them. That's gross.
I mean, have it on both sides, charm and I mean,
Gross. That's
oh
gross.
no, right?
You're better than this, Bobby. Come on now. You are better than this.
Oh, hey, if you pay for them, they ain't gonna say too much. Just be like, hey, I'm going to bed.
Hate that. But no, this whole Braun shit, this guy, he's just trying to be Trump. He is literally doing anything he can to just lick the boots of Trump. And that's all he wants to do. He's just, yeah. Like, what can I do for Daddy Trump to make him love me? Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how in the world do you do you even think of a law like that? What does not make you say these guys are homeless? We have plenty of space. Let's use that space and utilize that space so people can go, sit up there and get up on their feet. I don't see why people don't have that mentality. It's
Because of greed. There are entire fucking neighborhoods.
wait, wait,
Even
wait, wait.
that
See,
have people
I,
can live in and fix them up. But
I get what you said about greed, but they're not getting a piece of it to be greedy.
it doesn't matter. Okay, it's like all the people I know that cut for fucking Trump. All those people, they think they are temporarily poor. These people believe they will one day achieve being a millionaire, a billionaire, having all of the riches in the world. People believe that they are temporarily poor. So they vote like they're already rich because they really think that one day they're going to be in that club. That's
Mm-mm.
that's what people. I swear to God, every person I've ever asked, like, why do you vote for this? Why do you think this way? Why do you act like? Why are you capping for these fucking assholes? It always comes back to they believe that, well, they're allowed to be, they can make all the money they want, they can exploit people if they want to, they're allowed to do these things. Why? Why? And it's because they would do the same thing. They are those type of people that they would do that. So it all stems back to greed because
Wow.
they want more money and they don't care what they have to do to get it, and they don't care who they have to hurt. They don't care as long as they benefit. They don't care.
And
It's
they'll run over anybody and anything to get it.
Yep. And they are better than everyone too. So they're better than black people. They're better than brown people. They're better than women. They're better than anybody that's not Christian. They're better than them
I'm trying to figure out that better than you attitude. How did it crowd around Christianity?
because of the church. Because the preacher at the pulpit telling them that they're better than everyone else.
So because you go to this church, I'm better than you.
People believe that. Yeah, people
Because
believe
I
that.
believe in this faith,
Yep.
I'm better than you.
People think that. Yeah,
I'm gonna start making my own damn rules.
I know, right? Yeah, I put clean socks on every day. I'm better than you.
If you like, if you don't like Rey Mysterio,
I'm better than
I'm way better than you.
you.
If you don't like the WWE,
Hmm, I'm
I'm
better than
better than
you.
you.
Man,
If
we
you
can make
don't
a.
like dark meat off the chicken,
I'd have to. I'm better than you because yeah, I would have to agree with that.
I'm better than you.
But
I like
no,
all the legs and thighs I can get.
but you know what I mean? That people think that.
I can never
People,
take that. I can
I
never
don't,
take that.
I don't get it. But it's
Wait,
literally.
because I drink Kool-Aid instead of Pepsi,
I'm better than you.
I'm sweeter and better than you.
There you go. Man, I take Kool Aid over Pepsi any day.
Boy, I got this big jug in the
Oh,
kitchen.
dang, I got red going on right now. Got some
Kool-Aid is
red.
the bomb.
Yes, it is.
It's
Man, it gives me
it was
it gives heartburn the older I got, man, but I still drink the hell out of it. Put it over some ice. Oh, it's so good.
on
Ah,
a very hot day.
and you gotta make it right too. You gotta get 2 packets of Kool Aid, and you gotta put enough sugar in there to where the spoon stands straight up and down when you put the water in it, and then you gotta struggle to stir it, and then you put it over ice. That's the thing. You got to make it really strong and concentrated because when you put it over ice and the ice starts to melt down, it doesn't make the water. Your drink all watery. I don't know. I love me some Kool-Aid.
Mm,
Kool-Aid down to a science.
mm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I never got that I'm better than you attitude. I
I
never.
never, I never understood people like that. But I understand where it came from because I've seen it, and it's like,
The
wow.
the only thing I think I'm better than somebody in is in Call of Duty.
See, and there's gonna be somebody out there that's gonna think they're better than you.
Ladies and gentlemen, play me in Call of Duty. I'm better than you.
Find them in the lobby. Find them in the lobby. Let's go. This is actually provable, though. You can
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
yeah. All these other fucking people, they just think they're better than somebody. They ain't
As soon as
shit.
you turn that corner, blah blah.
Right? Everybody looks the same in the crosshairs.
Boy, tell me about it.
Everybody is the same in the crosshairs.
And I take exceptionally pleasure in the ones who tagline have Trump in it.
Oh, I bet. Those are the ones that you take out, like,
And I'm
right
a badass sniper too.
there. Those are the ones you kind of want to let them know, yeah, it was me that did
Yep,
it. You know?
yep.
Yeah, yeah. No, I feel you on that.
I do that Dave Chappelle skit every time I hit him because when you hit them, you can hear each other. So
Oh, yeah.
I be like, as soon as I hit him and it switches on, I be like, gotcha, bitch.
That's so funny. um,
I mean,
I'm
it'd be funny too because I heard one dude flipped out like, how is he getting me?
it's like Johnny, he found the, in Red Dead Redemption, there's a part where there's like a KKK rally in the middle of the
Yes, I see that.
and he's like, "Oh shit, I found it!" And he's like throwing fireballs at him and shit. He's like, "I'm gonna kill every one of these motherfuckers." We sat and had the best time as I was watching him kill all those guys. That was great.
I tell you the funniest scene in the movie that I see. Django Unchained,
Mm.
when all of them was surrounding that cart because they thought they was under that cart. I can't see out these damn things.
It don't matter if you can see. It only matters if the damn horse can
Now, I just want to say that the hoods was a very good idea. And it was a good thought.
see.
Let's
Like,
do away with the hoods.
you
And
think
next time, we'll try it again, but we'll do a little bit better.
don't ask me or mine for nothing. It's on my wife slaving away all day.
That was the
That's
funniest time movie.
that shit is funny as fuck. Cause it's the dumbest shit ever, and it just shows the stupidity of those people. And you know what I mean? Like they're just buffoons, and it literally just showcases the buffoonery. It's like the whole movie Blazing Saddles. People are always talking about, oh, that movie can never be made. It's like, man, that movie showcased the ignorance of fucking white people to the nth degree. Next,
Wow.
the whole movie was just them showing how fucking stupid and ignorant white people were. You know what I mean? And I'm so glad they got Cleavon to do the sheriff and not Richard Pryor. Because even though Richard Pryor would have been great,
Mm.
I just wish they had him do it. Sorry, that's one of my favorite movies, and it's the best allegory for any time period in America when talking about race relations because it literally illustrates that white people are just so stupid. I love that movie too. Where are the white women at? I told you, I told you to clean up after weekly cross burning. That shit,
Mm.
I laughed so hard at that. And everyone's like, that movie's racist. Like, no, it's not. It's literally telling you how fucking stupid white people are and how ignorant they sound and how ignorant they are.
That's true.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the same with Django. It's one of those movies that illustrates the fucking absurdity of how stupid white people are.
Wow. Well, check this out.
Mm.
We done went about an hour. We're going to call it a night.
Okay.
Get ready for next week.
Ron's still a fucking idiot.
Yeah, we'll talk more on that next week.
And
Because I
doesn't
want to see how
matter.
that develops.
Nobody's going to convince me that this is a good thing at all.
I think he's Lord Farquaad in real life.
Oh, God, right? He doesn't live too far from me either.
I'm sorry.
I know. He's like less than 2 miles from me. The
Oh,
governor's
I'm
man.
so sorry.
I know. I drive past his house probably 20 times a day while I'm at work.
I'm very sorry.
I've I've had some thoughts. But no, it's yeah, he's a disgrace. And
I would make him mad if I lived over there.
oh God, there's constantly people out there with signs and stuff out in front of his house too. It's so
Really?
funny. Right there on Meridian Street, you know. And it's in the Meridian Hills neighborhood up there on the north side, you know, all the rich people. And
Mm.
there's people out in front of his house all the time with signs. So yeah, Governor's Mansion is constantly got people out there.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's when
it
you know
might
you hate it.
exactly. Like I said, it might not be a lot of people, but there's always somebody out there with a sign talking shit. And I say, hey, that's what you get, man. That's what
Yeah.
you. Sorry, not sorry. That's what you
Or,
get.
well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take off here. I do want to thank everybody who's going to be watching the replay. Ones that watching us live now. We're going to get a solid time and date together. I know some of you have written said, hey, we need a solid time and date. You keep skipping all over the place. Well, guess
Yeah,
what? We skip because we happy. You ever seen a man person skip? No. You never seen a man person skip.
I want to see you skip now. Next time we're together, we gotta skip. Come on, Bob, you gotta have some whimsy.
What did I put myself into?
Come on, Bobby. I'm gonna teach you some whimsy one of these days, damn it. We're gonna frolic. I swear to God.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna get you the frolic, and I'm gonna get you the. Come on, we're gonna do this. We gotta have some joy.
Wow. I done got myself into something. Alright guys, we're gonna get up off of here. I'm the mastermind Bob Rogers. This is Ash. Hey, whatever you feel like you're going right, just think about what you're doing and make sure you're going in the right direction. Well, I'll let you. Oh my God.